first saw it at my dad's funeral not too long ago. His death was a surprise and it shocked everyone who knew him. He was a healthy and active middle-aged man with no previous health problems, and then he just died. 2 weeks prior. The whole thing felt unreal. Even as I sat next to my grieving mother in the front rows of pews at the service, it just seemed like a dream. I mean, we were given an explanation, some cardiac arrest. We were told that such thing was common. It could happen to anyone at any age, regardless of their health. It kills most people that it happens to, though. After all, the electrical signals that coordinate the heart's beat don't work properly, you'd be in big trouble. But it was just so random that even with this explanation I had to pinch myself. Even then I still had my doubts. Yeah, it's really gone. I mean, it's not like the death is anything new, but him? Now? I guess my soul surprises. I really miss his eyes. They were so pure with emotion, so undiluted. I always had to find another pair of eyes as perfect as his. I wonder if I'll find anyone like him out there. As I began to wonder where someone who could replace him may be, I felt my mother's hand touch mine. I couldn't tell if she thought I needed to be consoled or if she wanted me to console her. Hold her hand? Yeah. I slipped my hand from underneath and held hers firmly. If I want my image to stay in good light, I have to at least be a little attentive to her. I took a silent, deep breath out of irritation. There's nothing I hated more than doing things I didn't want to do. No, it wasn't the first or most difficult necessary hassle I had to deal with. I'll definitely do the bare minimum this time around, though. My mother was nothing special, so I wasn't able to waste time thinking about how to make her happy. Obviously, I'm giving her space to grieve. Anyway, now that I think about it, I've never seen what the eyes of the dead are like. I wonder if they have whatever emotion was felt before the soul behind them departed. Perhaps they just look like mine. Everyone around me always had this spark in their eyes. It was something I noticed when I was a child. Whenever someone was happy or sad, I felt a look in their eyes that feel what they felt. Not that I was some empath. I always thought that I could do such a thing because my eyes were like black holes, sucking everything up. I could see everyone's pain and joy and take it all in, but I myself never had anything to spew back out. After finding the emotion behind the eyes of those I was close to, I wanted to spend a lot of time in the mirror, looking for what lay beyond mine. But there was never anything there, just two deep voids, emptiness staring into the reflection of emptiness. It helped me come to the conclusion that I am empty, eyes and all, and forced me to understand the importance of emotions. They were all like a rare treasure I could only wish to have. Joy, love, hope, gratitude, anger, sadness, and fear. I cherish them all equally, unlike most of the people I've ever met. Though I cherish the emotions from my dad the most. He was different for everyone in town. They all masked their emotions to some degree, clouding their eyes. It was something I never understood. People had all these magnificent and powerful feelings, yet they didn't wish to feel them in their purest form. My father wasn't like that though. Whenever I looked into his eyes, there was always an unapologetically overwhelming amount of emotion behind them. I never understood how someone like me could come from someone like that. I had always been jealous of his eyes, but he was also probably the only person I could truly say I loved because of them. But he was dead. Though I couldn't help but wonder if perhaps there was still some sort of work in his eyes. My mother stood up as the preacher stepped down from the altar, pulling my attention from out of my own head. Shakily, she made her way to fill in the void at the front of the church and above the open casket of the love of her life. The room was silent as everyone watched her, and I could feel them all silently rooting her on, praying that she stay strong. I was waiting for her to reach the altar and face the sanctuary, desperately wanting to see and experience the pain she felt. After all, no matter how much I loved seeing the emotions of others, staring everyone in the eyes all the time would be odd. especially if I stare down my mom at my dad's funeral. Yeah. What if she sees dad's corpse right on the altar and breaks? I don't think I ever experienced heartbreak through others before. Will this be a new first for me? There's so many emotions I could never think of if I could experience them all. Right before my mom reached the altar, I realized the look that was on my face and it killed it in an instant. Sad people don't smile. Sad people don't smile. May not be able to cry, but I'm sad. Looks from my mother, who now faced the crowd, holding on to the preacher's podium, as if it was the only thing keeping her upright. Touched my lips and quickly made the angle of them match my mom's before playing it off by wiping a false tear from my eye, in case anyone was looking. Then Mom began her parting speech. Chandler and I were married for 27 years. 27. It's a long time. For about 4 of those years, I was the apple of his eye, and him the apple of mine. For the remainder of those years, Noor was here we poured most of our love into. I don't regret that, not at all. From the moment our son was conceived, he was our little light. Mom smiled and looked at me. I smiled on cue with a nod that was presented to be reassuring. Wasn't expecting that. What a strange reaction. Despite her smile, I could see tears welling in her eyes. Not a single drop fell as she continued. Chandler loved Noor so much. So much. And he wasn't afraid to show it. He spoiled him rotten, taking him all kind of little adventures, buying him all types of things. Meanwhile, I was stuck with the role of the mean old woman who killed all the fun, but made the good food. There were a few small chuckles within the church. Those two were thick as thieves. I still remember how sad Canaan was when it was time for Noor to escape the nest. Where he lives now is only 3 hours away, but to Chandler, it might as well have been halfway across the world. I don't know if I could tell Noor, but it really did pain your father that his partner in crime was going away and live on his own. He just didn't tell you because he didn't want to hold you back. It's my head, truly unaware of that fact, but aware that around that time there was more sadness in his eyes than usual. Every year away, he planned all kinds of things for you two to do together when you came to visit. There was never enough time during your visit to do everything he had in mind. I can go on and on about how excited he'd been planning his next outing with you, but I could hear him now, up in heaven, telling me to hush up. Another chuckle or two, though Mom began struggling to hold back her tears even more than before. I wanted her to let it all out, to blunt her heartbreak, but she didn't. Now I'm sad over Chandler's death. As long as we've loved each other, life really won't be the same without him. Bet that I'll never get to see my husband again while I'm on this earth. I don't want to think about it. What breaks my heart even more? Mom paused to sniffle, but there were still no tears. What breaks my heart more is how disappointed Chandler must be that he goes suddenly without a goodbye. Still, that all the things he recently looked forward to doing but our son would never happen. I could listen any longer. She was like everyone else, masking her true feelings to the best of her ability. She should have cried, and there should have been more tears in her speech than words. Should have been only sadness in her eyes, but a lot of it had been hidden away behind the facade of strength. Strength wasn't emotion, it was meaningless, repulsive. The eyes of the weak were like crystals. The wearers didn't have the strength to hide who they really were, so they sparkled the most intensely. Just like Dad's did. Everyone started out weak and pure, but over time they would strengthen, sparkle their eyes dimming thanks to the stresses of life. However, my dad stayed radiant no matter what. Will you even find someone with eyes like Dad's? I searched all over the place. At that moment, I felt that I needed that even if the eyes of the dead were empty like mine, I needed to look Dad in the eyes one more time. I wanted to remember all the years I had such treasures. Okay. That's it. That's Chasing Its Light. This is if I'm not mistaken, it's just a snippet, sort of like a demo in a way. So kind of like a horror, type of horror sort of thing. It is short. I believe this will be in development, and more will be out soon-ish. So if you like this game and want to follow the updates, of course everything will be in the description below. If you enjoyed this video and you don't mind, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And yeah, chasing this light. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you had a good day, good yesterday, and better tomorrow. And I will catch y'all in the next video.